So in this video, I'm going to look at a few things that I've come across in Out of the Park 25 that are kind of like smaller changes than things, like the development lab, the new rating system, etc. But they are changes that, to me, I think they're kind of a big deal. Two of them, I got three of them. Two of them, I think, are positive changes. One is a change I do not like as much. I think it's fair to call it a negative change. So let me start with the positive one. One of the bigger positive ones. This is a really small thing, but it's something I think I've mentioned, like the little annoyance at this thing several times during my long-term sims. So this change is great. I love it. When you look in the player development report, as you would scroll down, and you'd be going down, and you'd be like, okay, this guy is improving. Like, let me take a look at him real quick. Right, this guy, okay. And then if you would hit the back button, I'm going to right-click my mouse to go back. It now still has you in the spot in the report where you had clicked. When you used to hit the back button, it would reset you to the top of the report of the player development update, which, not a huge deal, not a huge thing. But as you're playing like a sim, you just want it to be smooth. You just want the least amount of effort possible. This little thing here where I can just click on this, hit back, and I'm still there, and it's not up at the top, and I have to go down and find my place again, because sometimes you have reports that are way longer than this even, and you're scrolling down, and it's just kind of a pain to figure out where you were. So this is a very small thing, I think, an overall, but a very small change compared to the scale of changes in this game, but just the for lack of a better phrase, the quality of life improvement in playing the game. This is a big one for me. And, again, I feel like in some ways I have to especially call it out since I've before, kind of expressed my annoyance at how it used to work, but I love this update. It's outstanding. It reminds me a lot, actually, of how the change they made a few years ago. Oh, it's trade deadline. I can't show you this. But a few years ago, they made a change, I think a year or two ago, where when you hit the Make This Work Now button on a trade and then click on a player who would make it work, and you hit the back button, the Make This Work Now option is still there. So it's similar to that change. I think this is an excellent change. I just wanted to call that out. I hope some of you who have echoed my annoyance with how it used to work are also happy with that. Before I show you the next thing, I just want to say one quick thing. I don't like doing the self-promotion thing. I find it a bit awkward, but in the description of this video, there is a link to my Patreon page. If you're able to support the channel, it's a good way. It's $5 a month, but it's a month-to-month commitment. You can join for a day, you can join for a month and try it out. You can join for 2 months, whatever, just come hang out for a little bit. It's a good way to support the channel. At some point I'm going to need a new microphone here, I think. So little things like that, it just goes to support. Also, as always, a shout out to my wife, who, despite us having an infant and a toddler, lets me still play this game and put stupid videos on the internet. So every once in a while, it's just nice to buy her tacos. So the Patreon money also goes to tacos for my wife. So yeah, if you're able to do it for a month, a week, a year, indefinitely, I'd appreciate if you consider it. Just go ahead and click the link in the description, and you'll get some exclusive content. Wow. All right, let me show you the next change that I like in Out of the Park 25. Okay, so this next change is a bit more just anecdotal, my experience. And I'd be curious to see if you guys agree with this or not, because this is not a super scientific thing here, just kind of a sense that I have about this. But it seems like the long-term contract extensions have continued to improve in terms of what the players are demanding. When you want to sign a pre-arb guy to a 12-year deal. So Gunnar Henderson here, so for context, his 2024 season he put up 7 WAR, and the 2025 season put up 5.1 WAR. So he's become the bona fide superstar he appears to be developing as in real life. And I think a couple things of context here. One, the extensions are still low, but they're not laughably low. 2, real life Gunner, probably not gonna sign. I just I would love it. I would run laps around my neighborhood with possibly just my boxers on. It's a PG show, so I got to keep my boxers on. But I come check on me to make sure that I haven't blown through the ceiling excitement if the Orioles extend Gunner in real life. I don't hold out hope for it, but if he were to sign, I think that Bobby Witt deal. What it was 11 years, $288 million, I think. I looked it up a day or two ago, and I think that's what it is. But then it has some options too. But so I think in real life, 11, $288 is the absolute floor that any offer would start with from the Orioles. And I think Gunnar and Boris would be looking for much more because he's younger. Let me say something controversial. He's a better defender. So Gunnar's going to make more money than Bobby Witt. I think that's just how it's going to be. So if we went to, let's see what the 11-year deal, he would want $327 million. Let's apply this. So he would want 11 years, 327, 34.9 per year during the peak. So it would be an average annual value of 29.7 over the deal. Like, honestly, like, I think that's realistic. Considering the deal that Bobby Witt got with the 288. I could be totally. I'm gonna while I'm talking about this, Google this on my phone, search engine it on my phone. So I don't need to advertise for that search engine. So Bobby Witt's extension was nailed it, 11 years, 288.8. But then it's like 3 years. The Royals have control on the bigger option. I know it could be a lot more money, but that's a team option. So like whatever. If it was a player option, that would be a bigger deal in terms of a gauge here. So I think 327. Like if the Orioles came with that in real life, I don't know if Gunnar would sign it because I don't know if he wants to sign long term because he's a Boris guy, so he might want to go to free agency as most Boris guys do. But I think this would be a reasonable offer for the Orioles to put on the table in real life. And, I think you could get Gunnar in this game for less than this. But if you stick with this estimate, I think it's pretty realistic. The other guy that I looked at, you can see, shout out to Alex Bregman, Orioles third baseman. Jackson Holliday has come up, and he went 5.1 and then 7.1 WAR, and he's only 21. I mean, just crazy. Like, so let's see what he's going to want. And so 10 years, $352 million. That seems low to me. 35.2. I know. So it is like it's taking up a league minimum deal and 3 ARB years. So you got to, he's not going to get free agent money for all this. His free agent years are 44.4 million, and then it trails off at the end once he's in his 30s. I think if the Orioles came with this, I don't think Jackson Holliday's signing it because I get the impression from things I've read that he doesn't want to, like, he's not going to be the guy who signs before free agency. Or I shouldn't say he won't. I think it's unlikely. Again, he's a Boris guy. He's already got, like, generational wealth from his family. His dad made millions of dollars playing baseball. So, like, why not, like, just bet on yourself and take it to free agency? But maybe he'll sign early with the O's. And I think 10 years, $352 million is a totally reasonable contract to, like, project to use in this game as Jackson Holliday. I think if the Orioles offered him $44 million in his free agent years and this in his ARB years, like, I don't know. I think that I think they'd have to consider it, the Holiday camp, but they won't. I don't think he'll sign long term with the O's. But this is just another change that I think is good to the game. I think over the last couple of years, these extensions have gotten more realistic, and I have noticed improvements even from 24 to 25. I don't know. Maybe that's just my imagination. Maybe I'm just making that up. But I'd be curious to know if you guys have seen this too, that the pre-arb or the long-term extensions seem more realistic. Not totally realistic, but more realistic. I still think some of the free agent deals at the very top end, like DeSoto and guys like that, are a little low, but these deals seem better. So those are the 2 changes I like a lot. Next, I've got a change that I really, 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 really don't like. So let me talk to you about it. Okay, so the change I don't like, it has to do with what you can do with the draft budget. We're here at the 2026 MLB draft. Some of you who have watched the channel for a while may recall that my draft budget, I keep it $0. Here's a better way to show it. But I keep it at $0. I normally do it with international free agents too, because then all of this money that would be tied up in draft is in your total money available. So instead of having, like, if you want to sign a player or trade for a player and say you don't have the money, but it would be available if you didn't have money tied up in your draft budget, it allows you to make those moves. It's also especially important for money for extensions. Like, say I had $10 million in my draft budget for this year, it would project that for next year too, which draft budgets are not the same year to year. It depends on what your estimated slots are, etc., slot bonuses are. So I really don't like that it ties up money for future years too, and that might not be your expenses. So I would zero this out to fix that problem, but it's not gaming the system. Like, I still have to account for the draft in my total money available. I just have to remember to leave the money there. Whereas normally if you have it in this draft envelope here, like, it's just taken out of the total money available and it's there when you need to do the draft. But when you used to offer money to players that you drafted, it would not, the budget room that you had to sign those guys would not go by your draft budget available. It would go by your total money available, which makes sense to me, right? Like, I should be able to spend as much on the draft as I want out of my total money available. What does it matter if I use, like, I mean, I like YNAB to budget as much as the next guy, but I don't need an envelope system here for budgeting. Just let me divvy out my money, especially because of the way it works up of tying hypothetical money up in futures years if I have money budgeted for the draft. I know it's a little sloppy wording there, but I think you guys know what I'm saying. So, like, I drafted a guy and I want to negotiate with him. He wants the slot is 6.2. He's demanding 7.5. I have $71 million in budget room. And if I want to offer him, let's just say I want to offer him 7. Like, you can see right here, it says you have budget room of $0 left for signing bonuses and contracts. Normally, this would say the 71 million or whatever. It says how much budget room you have, not how much you have in your draft budget left. So if I want to submit the 7, my owner won't allow it because you are over your draft budget. The owner does not approve this offer because it is over the recommended slot bonus. I don't know why it matters that I'm over the specific draft budget as long as I'm within my budget. So I really don't like this change. I don't know if it's intentional, honestly. Like, I don't know. Is it like a bug that accidentally got, not a bug, but is it accidentally like put in as a switch? I just don't see the benefit to making this change because it's not like I was gaming the system before. I was just choosing to have more control over all of my dollars, right, in my budget. So, I mean, honestly, what I'm going to do as a workaround is I'm still going to keep it at 0. And then when the draft comes around and I want to sign guys, like, here, let's do this. Here, I'll show you what I'm going to do. Let's go to the first-year player draft. Let's go ahead and say, let's complete the draft, right? Auto-complete draft, okay. And now we're going to go to negotiate with draftees. So, like, I'm now going to figure out, let's say I was planning to sign, like, these guys, right? Now I'm going to go into commissioner mode and let's just estimate for now that I want to spend 14 million on the draft. Cool. Now it's taken out of this. It's also taken out of next year's, which is annoying to me. Because if I just spend the money on the draft out of my budget and don't have it in this bucket here, it doesn't come out of the extensions for next year, which is more realistic. It shouldn't be tied up like that. Anyways, so now I can go in and I can be like, oh, you want 7.5? Yeah, dude, you got it. Oh, you want this money? And I do know, like, you can offer slot if you're over budget, right? But, like, I want to be able to offer what I want to be able to offer within my remaining total budget dollars. So, like, here, we'll offer this guy over. Submit offer. And now, like, here, let's do something. Let's just see what happens if I'm like, oh, by the way, guys, I'm just going to budget 5 million for my draft. So now if I go back to negotiate with draftees, let's see, the minimum, blah, 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 recommended slot bonus. So, yeah, so I think I can offer him slot. Yeah, I offered him slot, so I could still do that. Now, if I want to offer this guy over slot, it's probably not going to let me. Yeah, I'm over budget. So, yeah, I don't like this at all. I haven't, like, posted it in a forum or anything because I'm not sure that it's a bug. I guess it's, like, an intentional decision. I just don't know why. I don't understand why this would happen. Like, why they would take away this ability to be more flexible with your budget just because, like, it's not a cheat. It's not making the game easier. It's honestly just making the way budgets work more realistic. The old way does. So, anyways, sorry to end on the negative note here, but I love the other two changes. I love a lot about this game, but this one change I really, really, really times 10 do not like. And I'm going to commissioner mode it each year at the draft. That's going to be my workaround. And I think somebody in a comment, I can't remember where, might have said that they were going to be doing that too. So, please join us, or point out to me if this is a unintentional bug or fix. Like, we can bring it to the development team's attention, but I'm just not sure if it is or not. Anyways, that's the end of this video. Thanks for watching. Let me know what you guys do or don't like in terms of like the real small changes. Let me know what you think about the contract extensions, and then let me know if this draft budget thing, if you think it's as annoying as I do. Thanks for watching. Talk to you guys next time. Bye.